Welcome to our deep dive today. We're going to be looking at what happens when we take our desire to explore the stars too far.
Yeah, it's that classic question, isn't it? How far is too far?
Yeah.
And what
Yep.
happens when we go too far?
Exactly. And we're going to explore that through a fictional scenario. This story is called Echoes of the Quantum Rift.
Ah, I love this one.
It's set in the year 2147. Humanity has figured out faster than light travel.
Which, of course, they had to get the story going.
Right. And they've done it using this thing called the quantum rift drive. But of course, there are consequences.
Always consequences, right? It's like every time we unlock some new amazing technology, we also unlock some new potential for disaster.
Yeah, that's kind of the theme here, isn't it? So the quantum rift drive, it lets us travel vast distances. But it's unpredictable. It's dangerous.
And that unpredictability is a big part of the story. It's not just about the places we can go, but the things we might encounter along the way.
Exactly. So we're following this starship captain, Captain Jack Thorne, and his crew aboard the Ardent Horizon. They're out there exploring, pushing the boundaries.
Boldly going where no one has gone before, as they say.
Exactly. So they're cruising through the rift, and they pick up this faint signal coming from a region of space called Sector 9G.
And that's where things start to get a little strange, right?
Yeah, a little strange. This is where things get a lot strange.
Yeah.
Because the signal is using old tech, like pre-rift technology, stuff that shouldn't even exist anymore.
It's like finding a message in a bottle. But the bottle is a spaceship, and the message is 100 years old.
Okay, that's a good analogy. So, of course, Thorne wants to know more. He sends a probe to investigate, and they discover a derelict ship, the SS Zenith.
Now, the Zenith is a bit of a legend, right? It disappeared in 2073 during humanity's first attempt at deep space colonization.
So how did it end up here, in the rift, a century later? Does that make sense?
It's a ghost ship, basically. A ghost ship from the future. It's like something out of an old seafaring tale. You know those stories about ships that just vanish without a trace and then reappear years later?
Yeah, except this ship vanished into the future. So naturally, Thorne is intrigued. He wants to know more.
And despite the obvious risks, he decides to send an away team to board the Zenith.
Right,
Yeah.
of course.
Mhm.
This is Captain Thorne we're talking about.
Yeah.
He's not going to let a little thing like a potential cosmic horror story stop him.
And that's where the real fun begins. Or should I say, the real horror.
We'll get to that.
Mm.
But first, the away team boards the Zenith. And immediately, they get this sense of unease, like they're not supposed to be there.
Yeah, the story does a great job of creating that atmosphere of dread. The ship is dark,
Okay.
silent, only flickering emergency lights.
It's like stepping into a tomb that's been floating through space for 100 years.
And who knows what they'll find inside.
Good point. And as they start exploring, the away team starts to pick up some really weird readings. Their xenobiologist, Dr. Haldane, she's picking up heightened quantum instability, like the ship is phased between realities.
Which, let's be honest, is a pretty cool concept. The idea that the rift could cause a ship to exist in multiple states at once.
It's mind-bending stuff. It makes you question what reality even is,
Yeah.
you know?
Right. It's like that old philosophical question, if a tree falls in the forest and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? But in this case, it's like if a ship exists in multiple realities, which reality is the real one?
Whoa. Okay. Now I'm really getting creeped out. But we haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet.
Oh, we're just getting started.
Okay, so the away team is on this derelict ship, the Zenith, surrounded by, flickering lights and this eerie silence. I mean, what happens next?
Well, they eventually make their way to the bridge. And there, they find something that really sends chills down your spine. A log entry.
A log entry. Ah, this is where it gets good.
It's from the Zenith's original commander, Captain Ezra Lang.
Ooh, what does it say?
It's dated March 15th, 2073.
Okay, so this is from the day the Zenith disappeared.
Exactly. And the message is fragmented, But it's clear that something went terribly wrong.
Do they know what happened?
Well, Lang describes activating some kind of prototype drive.
Probably an early attempt at rift technology.
Right, and then he mentions encountering something. His last words are, "We're not alone here, they."
They? Oh man, that's creepy. Who are they?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The log entry doesn't tell us, but it definitely sets the stage for something sinister.
It's like, the classic horror movie setup. You find a creepy old diary or something, and it hints at some unspeakable evil lurking in the shadows.
Exactly, and now our away team is walking right into that same trap.
They have no idea what they're up against.
And yet, they press on. Captain Thorne orders them to continue exploring, but to be extremely cautious.
I mean, I'd be turning back right about now, but I guess Thorne is made of sterner stuff.
He's a driven man, that's for sure. Always pushing the boundaries, even when it might not be the wisest decision.
Okay, so they keep exploring the zenith. Weapons ready, senses on high alert, waiting for something to jump out at them.
And then they hear it. A low, guttural sound, echoing through the ship.
Oh no, this can't be good.
It's a sound that is undeniably non-human, confirming their worst fears. Whatever happened to the Zenith and its crew, it's still here.
I knew it. I knew something bad was going to happen. So what do?
They react instantly, forming a defensive perimeter, scanning the darkness.
They're looking for whatever made that sound, right?
Exactly. And then out of the shadows, a figure appears.
Oh God, what is it?
It's humanoid, but distorted, with unnatural movements and glowing eyes.
Oh, that is so creepy. What do you think it is? Some kind of alien?
It's hard to say for sure, but its appearance suggests that it's been corrupted, twisted by the rift itself.
So it's not just some random alien species. It's something more, something connected to the rift.
Exactly. And it's a terrifying thought, isn't it? That the rift could create such a creature.
It's like the rift is a living thing. And this creature is I don't even know what to call it.
It's avatar, it's guardian, it's nightmare.
Okay, yeah, nightmare is a good word for it. So what happens next? Does the creature attack?
It does. It charges at the away team, and Thorne orders them to fall back.
Uh-huh.
They open fire, but their energy blasts seem to have little effect.
Wait, what? Why don't their weapons work?
It's as if the creature is intangible. Like it's not fully present in their reality.
Okay, now that is seriously messed up. So what do? How do they escape?
Well, as they retreat, Dr. Haldane, the xenobiologist, she notices something. The ship is becoming unstable. The rift's anomalies are intensifying.
So the zenith is going to be destroyed.
It looks that way. The rift is claiming it back.
Oh no. All that history. All those lost souls.
And potentially the answers to all of Thorne's questions.
So what does he do? Does he stay and try to learn more? Or does he order the team to evacuate?
It's a tough call. But ultimately, Thorne chooses to save his crew.
Yeah, that's probably the right decision, even though it means leaving behind so many unanswered questions.
But they don't leave empty-handed. Thorne manages to download the ship's logs remotely before the Zenith is completely consumed by the rift.
So they at least have some answers.
They do, and what they find in those logs changes everything. The rift is not just a pathway, it's a sentient entity, aware and hungry.
Whoa, okay, so we were right. The rift is alive.
It seems that way, and the implications are terrifying.
So they went looking for new worlds, and instead they found a cosmic horror.
It seems so, and now they have to deal with the consequences.
But we've gone from like a ghost ship to, well, a cosmic horror story. The rift. It's alive. What part of all this freaks you out the most?
You know, it's funny, right? We always think we're in control, pushing the boundaries of science and technology, but then a story like this comes along, and it makes you realize maybe we're not as in control as we think.
It's like, yeah, we don't know what we don't know, but what we don't know might be a giant space monster.
Huh. Pretty much. Then it makes you wonder, was opening that door, to faster than light travel, was it really a good idea?
Exactly. We might have just invited something terrifying into our universe.
It really makes you think about all those advancements we're making, like artificial intelligence. What if we accidentally create something we can't control?
Yeah, that's a whole other deep dive. But it's a valid point. So where does this leave us? The rift is alive. Maybe it's dangerous. Can we even keep using it?
That's the dilemma, isn't it? The risk versus reward. Do we risk our own destruction to keep exploring? Or do we play it safe?
I mean, there's so much out there to discover, right? New worlds, new resources, maybe even other intelligent life. But what if the price is too high?
It's a choice humanity will have to make. Do we retreat back to our little corner of the galaxy? Or do we try to understand the rift, maybe even learn to communicate with it?
It sounds like we need a new approach to space exploration. One that's less about, conquering the unknown and more about understanding it.
Yeah.
Respecting it.
Absolutely. We need to remember that we're not just explorers, we're also guests in this vast, complex universe. And we need to treat it with respect.
Guests in a universe that might be a lot more aware than we ever realized. That's a pretty profound and kind of scary thought to end on, don't you think?
Definitely gives you something to think about, doesn't it?
Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the echoes of the quantum rift. Until next time, keep looking up at the stars, but maybe do it with a little more humility this time.